Good morning, class. Hey, here comes part 3 of our story, Inspector Flytrap. I've been sort of doing like their different stories, but I think they're connected. So this is part 3 of this first Inspector Flytrap book. This one's called Inspector Flytrap Has Lunch, and it comes right after the one I read last time about the cookies, the stinky cookies and the pirate. Here we go. Inspector Flytrap has lunch. Penguini's linguini. Oh, look at that fancy penguin waiter. I can't wait to do his voice. Chapter 12. Let's celebrate solving our latest big deal mystery, I said to Nina. Let's go out for lunch. Nina did not say big deal. She takes lunch very seriously. She doesn't care where we go. She just wants to go. How about Penguini's linguini, I asked. It's where we first met, when I was at table decoration with a dream and Nina was dining alone on the tablecloth. Instead of answering, she pushed me out the door and away we went. Luckily, Penguini Linguini is on our block, so we didn't have to cross the street. Hey, Penguini, I called as Nina pushed me through the front door. Hey, Inspector Flytrap. Great to see you again. Nina the goat, you're looking good, honey. I like Penguini because he always gets my name right. What was yesterday's special, I asked. Anchovy ravioli, he said. Wonderful, I said, that works. Help yourself, said Penguini. Nina pushed me right through the restaurant, past the kitchen and into the alley in the back. There it was, an overloaded trash can filled with old rotting food. Said Nina. Above the trash can buzzed a cloud of flies. I said. We both had a feast. I get it now. They both get to eat what they want when they go to the trash, right? The flies that buzz and the look at that. They make a good match, don't they? I didn't ever think of it that way. Part 4. Inspector Flytrap in the big deal mystery of the missing rose. They just went out for lunch, looks like. Chapter 13, my phone didn't ring. Hey, Nina, I said. I wonder why we're not getting any phone calls about big deal mysteries. She didn't answer. She was busy chewing on something. Maybe there are no more big deal mysteries, I said. Nina just kept on chewing. What do you think she's chewing on? That would make sense, wouldn't it? Nobody can call him when she's chewing on the phone. Hey, maybe that's a big deal mystery, I said. The mystery of no more mysteries. What do you think? Nina just kept on chewing. Hey, what are you eating over there, I asked. Phone, she said. The phone? No wonder we're not getting any phone calls, Nina. You're ruining the Flytrap Detective Agency. Big deal, said Nina. Well, it's a big deal to me. Quick, push me to the phone store. When we got to the phone store, the salesperson showed me the newest kind of phone. It was very, very small and had lots of neat extras like a camera, electronic maps, and a high-powered 3D video magnifying glass. Wow, I said, that would be perfect for my job as a detective. What do you think, Nina? She ate it in one bite. Too small, she said. Do you have any goat-proof phones? I asked the salesperson. He showed me to the goat-proof phone aisle. Look at her. It's gone now. Nina. All the goat-proof phones were big and clunky and didn't have cameras or any other cool stuff. All right, I said. I guess I'll take the biggest, clunkiest, least cool phone you've got. Back at the office, I plugged in the enormous new phone. It rang right away. Flytrap Detective Agency, do you have a mystery? A grumpy voice said. Yeah, Mr. Flytrap, I sure do. Actually, my name is Inspector Flytrap, I said. Who cares? All I care about is getting somebody to solve this mystery. Is it a big deal mystery? Duh, of course it is, said the grumpy voice. I wouldn't waste my time calling you over a small deal mystery. The grumpy voice told me all about it. I'll be right over, I said, and hung up the phone. Nina, will you please push me to the Snooty Latooty Gardens? Someone has stolen their largest and most beautiful flower. Big daffodil. Get it, big deal? No, I said, it's a rose. His big clunky phone. It's big. Chapter 14. I'd never been to Snooty Latooty Gardens before. That's because it makes me sad to see plants locked up behind fences. I believe that all plants should be free to go wherever they want. But the truth is that I've never met another plant that actually wanted to go anywhere. Most plants are happy to just sit where they are. But when Nina pushed me across the garden straight in front of a speeding fire truck, I started to wish that I had stayed at home too. The fire truck swerved just in time and we barely made it across alive. There, waiting in front of the gates of Snooty Latooty Gardens, was a really grumpy rat. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Flytrap. Well, I'm not a rat. I'm a kiwi, Mimi Kiwi. Hello, Mimi Kiwi, I said. I am Inspector Flytrap and this is Nina. I'm sorry I thought you were a rat. Said the really grumpy kiwi. What's a kiwi? I asked. Duh, said Mimi Kiwi. I am. Oh, I said. There was an awkward silence. Finally, I said, would you like to show me the scene of the crime? Mimi Kiwi muttered something and led us through the gate, down a path, and into a greenhouse. The greenhouse was crammed with every kind of plant. They were all in pots, just like mine. Mimi Kiwi pointed to an empty spot near the door. Is that where the rose was? I asked. Duh. I guess she meant yes. So was the missing rose in a pot? I asked. Duh. And the pot is missing too? Duh. I have to admit that I've never met an animal or a plant for that matter as rude and unhelpful as Mimi Kiwi. Even Nina seemed polite next to her. I gave up asking her questions and started looking around. Is it nice to say duh to things people ask you? Certainly not more than once. I found a tiny clump of black stuff on the door. Nina, would you mind eating this? I asked. Nina didn't mind. What's it taste like? I asked. Potting soil, said Nina. Just as I expected. The thief must have spilled some of the dirt when they moved the pot. Duh, said Mimi Kiwi. Big deal, said Nina. I ignored Mimi Kiwi, but I answered Nina. Actually, it is quite important. Notice that there are several other clumps of potting soil, I said. It's like a trail of soil. And it goes right out the door. Duh, Mimi Kiwi started to say, but we didn't stick around to hear her finish. Quick, Nina, follow that dirt, I cried, and she pushed me right out the door. Follow that dirt. Chapter 15. Nina and I followed the dirt out of the Snooty Latooty Gardens, down the street, around the corner, and up a long hill. Nina complained and grumbled the whole way. Finally, at the top of the hill, the dirt trail led us into a big park. And then I saw what we were after, a beautiful rose in a pot on a skateboard being pushed by a goat. Aha! I shouted, I have solved another big deal mystery. That's not Nina, though, is it? No way, Jose. The goat must have heard me because suddenly it started pushing the rose real fast. Quick, Nina, after them, I shouted. The chase was on. The other goat was faster, but Nina was more daring and reckless. We gained ground by racing at full speed over big bumps, taking turns without slowing down and weaving in between the feet of passing animals. Sure, I was worried about crashing, but I didn't ask Nina to slow down. My potting soil was spilling out too, but I didn't care. To solve the mystery, I had to catch that flower. Suddenly, the flower slowed down and swerved under the grass to go around some concrete steps. I closed my eyes. I knew what Nina was about to do, and I just couldn't look. She hopped on behind me, and we went flying over the steps. Ah! Yee-haw! Shouted Nina. We went right over a sloth. There's that sloth again. Sitting on the steps reading a newspaper. He's always around. What's his deal? When we hit the ground, I bounced and almost spilled, but somehow I stayed on the skateboard and we kept going. We were catching up to him. But now we were on a long, straight section of sidewalk. The other goat was just too fast. Nina got off and started pushing again, but we were falling behind. The rose was getting away. I looked ahead and saw that the rose was about to run into some sort of lumpy metal thing that was on the sidewalk. Look out, I shouted, you're going to crash. But it was too late. The Rose's skateboard hit the metal lump. The skateboard flipped over and the Rose tumbled off. Nina had to use all 4 hooves as brakes to stop us just before we hit the metal lump too. Now I could see that it was in the shape of a pickle. It was a pickle paperweight that someone had dropped in the park. Aha! I shouted. I have just solved 2 big deal mysteries at the same time. Oh. Inspector Flytrap's dream, it says. Meanwhile, at 221B Baker Street. Evening, Holmes. How was work today? Terrible, Watson. The mystery of the missing rose and the case of the pilfered paperweight shall ne'er be cracked. I am stumped. Hate to tell you, dear Holmes, but those cases were just solved by the amazing Inspector Flytrap. What? It's elementary, my dear Holmes. Ooh, mournful music. That's his dream. Chapter 16. Nina pushed me over to where the rose lay on the sidewalk. We've got it now, I shouted victoriously. The rose straightened up and brushed itself off. I'm not an it, said the rose. I'm a she. My name is Wanda. Oh, I said. I felt like a real jerk. I'm sorry, I didn't expect a talking rose. Well, I didn't expect a talking Venus flytrap, said Wanda. Then we took a good look at each other. Wowzer, I thought, that is one beautiful plant. Her leaves, her petals, her stem, her beautiful rosy eyes. I did not expect such a beautiful rose, I said. And I did not expect such a handsome Venus flytrap, said Wanda. It was love at first sight. Please do not take me back to the greenhouse, said Wanda. I want to be free. I did not expect that either. You mean you don't want to go back to Snooty Latooty Gardens, I asked. I thought you were being kidnapped. No, I was trying to escape from that awful place. This really nice goat was trying to help me. Hi, my name is William, said the goat. Hello, William. My name is Inspector Flytrap, and this is my assistant, Nina the goat. William looked at Nina. I did not expect such a beautiful goat, he said to Nina. I expected Nina to say big deal, but she did not. She said, William, you are the goat I have dreamed of all my life. Let me kiss you. Kissy kitchy. Kissy kissy. Smooch smooch. And then she smooched him. I did not expect that, and I don't think William did either. There's a picture. Can you stand it? Gross. Gross. I was wondering if Wanda might give me a kiss too when I heard a roaring motor. A big pickup truck screeched to a halt in the street next to the park. Oh no, cried Wanda, it's Mimi Kiwi. Duh, said Mimi Kiwi, looking out of the window at us. Put the rose in the truck, Flytrap. Are you going to take me back to the greenhouse? Asked Wanda. Duh, said Mimi Kiwi. Wanda looked at me with tears in her beautiful rosy eyes. I want to stay with you. I turned to Mimi Kiwi. Mimi, I love this rose. I will not help you take her back to the greenhouse. Then I turned to the goats. Nina, William, will you help us escape? Nina and William got Wanda's pot back on her skateboard. I picked up the pickle paperweight. Let's go, I hollered. Wait, shouted Mimi Kiwi. If I don't get the rose back, then you didn't really solve the mystery. Big deal, I said. This is getting very exciting. I didn't expect the smooching. I'm sorry about that. Oh. Chapter 17. We took off, zooming down the sidewalk as fast as Nina and William could go. I heard the squeal of tires, and I knew that Mimi Kiwi was right behind us. I looked back to see if she was gaining on us and saw something even worse. It was Lulu Emu. She was driving a bus full of art scientists. They were all leaning out of the windows and shouting and hollering at us. You gotta pay for that painting, Lulu Emu screamed. But I could barely hear her because a motorcycle was racing up behind her. Coco Dodo was driving. Mr. Flytrap, you ruined my business, Coco Dodo was shouting. Yarr, and you ruined me shoe, Mr. Flytrap, came a big booming voice behind him. It was a giant peg-leg pirate on rollers, on a roller skate. A roller skate, you know. Last of all came a sloth with a newspaper riding an old-timey bicycle. Oh my gosh, it's too exciting. Goats in love, Flytrap and Rose. Oh, look at the giant foot back there. Sloth, Coco, Lulu. Mimi. It's hard to keep up with all these people, huh? Sorry, there's half a sentence. You keep bugging me while I'm trying to read the... Sorry. Oh, I gotta start over. You keep bugging me while I'm trying to read the paper, Mr. Flytrap, the sloth yelled. My name, I yelled back at all of them, is Inspector Flytrap. Chapter 18. How can we escape? I cried. They're too fast. Big hill, said Nina, turning my skateboard. So we went down a side street. William and Wanda did the same. I looked ahead. It was the steepest hill in the whole city. No, Nina! I shouted, but it was too late. She hopped on my skateboard, and William hopped on Wanda's. I felt gravity take over, pulling us down, 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 faster and faster. Just before we started to plunge down the hill, I saw a street sign. It said one way, and it was pointing the other way. A huge busload of ostriches was coming right at us. Duck! Yelled Wanda. No, ostriches, I said. No, duck! Like this kind of duck. We both got our heads down just in time as Nina and William steered us under the bus. A huge tire roared by just inches from my pot. Big wheel, said Nina. We came out from under the bus and saw a whole fleet of taxis coming up the hill right at us. The taxi drivers honked and yelled. We dodged and swerved. A taxi's bumper bumped my pot, but Nina kept me from falling off. It's almost too exciting. We barely squeaked between the last two taxis. We shot out into an empty lane. There was an open road ahead of us, which was good since we were now speeding out of control. I looked back and saw Lulu Emu's bus, Coco Dodo's motorcycle, Mimi Kiwi's pickup truck, and the Sloth's bicycle all stuck in a huge traffic jam. The giant peg-leg pirate had bumped his shin on the ostrich bus and was sitting on the ground crying like a baby. Look out, yelled Wanda. I turned around. Look out, I screamed. The street was ending. We were going so fast we couldn't stop. We headed straight for a restaurant. It was Pinguini's Linguini. Do you have a cell phone? I asked Wanda. Here you go, she said, handing it to me. I dialed the number and waited. We're gonna crash, yelled Wanda. Pinguini answered the phone. Hello, Pinguini's Linguini. Today's special is, hey, Penguin, open the door! I yelled. The door swung open and we zoomed through. Penguin called, hey, Inspector Flytrap, Nina, you're looking good. I see you brought friends. We crashed into his kitchen. Pots and pans and goats and skateboards and Linguini went everywhere. Crash. Chapter 19. By the time Wanda and I had recovered, the goats were already eating the pots, the pans, and the linguini. Hey, Pinguini, I said, please bring us 2 bottles of your finest sparkling water. We have a lot to celebrate. Pinguini popped the corks and poured the fizzy water into our pots. Ooh, ah. I took Wanda's leaf, being careful of her thorns, and gazed into her beautiful rosy eyes, and we lived happily ever after. Aww. So much love on one page. That's the end. What do you think? There's a little page about the author and the illustrator. So these definitely go in order, don't they? I'll try to work on that. What a good one. I enjoyed it. I got on a roll and I couldn't stop. Bye.